Hi, Shannon. Mr. Parrish here one more time. Again, I think you've presented me with a terrific looking draft. It's very polished and finished. There are a few things that I'll point out, just, I guess, style points for academic writing. It's a big topic and maybe a little bigger than an assignment of this length can comfortably carry, but clearly you've satisfied every requirement of the assignment and have learned the things about forming an argument paper, position paper that I outline in this assignment. So I'll go through a few more things. You can turn in the final draft and get the richly deserved A you deserve for the class. I'll say one thing about this one phrase that kicks off your claim, the international electronic government surveillance. I think government needs to come out of that. I do understand the phrase international electronic surveillance. It's probably international electronic surveillance by the U.S. government is the way we want to phrase that. After that, I think most of the points that you're making are well reasoned. You've certainly done extensive research. You've read and understand those. Here, you've used the strategy of conceding a point to make a point. I think that's really good. I made the comment here in your statement, even though the government commits both of those crimes, as I understand the paragraph, though, they're crimes for everyone else, but they're not crimes for the government. My comment here is, are they crimes if they're legal? So if I'm misreading that, you might let me know by email so I don't misread it again. I think what you might say, those activities that are ordinarily crimes on a daily basis, if that's straightens that point out. But again, I think I've made that comment on a number of papers. It often comes up in some other issues as well. Things that are called crimes when they are bad, and they're kind of like crimes against humanity or something, but not necessarily crimes against the law. Beyond that, the other thing I commented on a couple of places were the block quotes. You're right that a quote this long should be put in blocks. If you, what we don't do is include the quotation marks in a block quote. Blocking them off takes the place of the quotation marks. I know students probably don't like to do that because they know how important quotation marks are, but that's just the kind of standard for it. And there's another place in one of these. So what MLA would have you do, and again, this MLA is kind of weird sometimes. In this particular quote, you won't use the quotation marks, and that period actually will go after seized. Fourth Amendment sits over here in parentheses without the period. Ordinarily, it is important to have that period there, but in block quotes, they're done a little differently. If you want to double check what I'm saying, you can take a look at the MLA section of The Little Seagull. In the sample MLA essay, there's an example of what I'm talking about. I think beyond that, I don't have much to say. I did have a couple of things here. Another one of these, I did have two other things I wanted to point out. When you say Posner goes on to convince readers by saying, I don't know if you can actually say that he convinces readers. I think what I suggested here goes on to make the convincing point. You can claim that something's convincing. I don't know if you can claim that it convinces, if you follow what I'm saying. And another habit that good writers have, and you will someday be an excellent writer. Right now you're a good writer, but when you're an excellent writer, one of the things you'll understand is that it's a bad habit to start a sentence with the word this unless there's a noun after it. Now, probably what you wanted to say was this quote, and I pointed that out last time. So you might begin with something like, Posner provides clear evidence that might be a way to kind of get it. This shows there is no need for government surveillance. I'll let you sort that out. Normally, though, you solve this problem by figuring out what is the missing noun and sticking it in after this. All right. Beyond that, I think you've found some excellent sources. You've cobbled together a terrific paper, and I think just like most of the work you've done in this class, or really all the work you've done in this class has been at a very high level, and I'm can certainly say with confidence that you're ready to take on English 112 and do really well there. So take care. Enjoy the rest of your summer.